Think of a time you got to meet the need of someone around you who required some assistance. This may have been accomplished by shoveling your neighbor's driveway, who's a single parent, or maybe babysitting for free during this time of quarantine so an essential worker could keep their job. You might have been working on the inside. Maybe you donated your clothes to Goodwill, or you washed dishes at a soup kitchen. Whatever act of service you've performed recently, I'm sure that on top of making an impact, it made you feel good to give back through sacrificing time or resources, because it is universally acknowledged that giving feels good. What if I told you that community service in teen and adult years especially should be required for graduation? Allow me to explain. Consider a time that you felt bored and as a result maybe sad and down. For most, going out to volunteer wouldn't cross their minds as a solution. Yet there is a huge need for volunteerism. Almost every kitchen, soup kitchen, church, hospital, or even neighbor or family member could use some help with something. There are numerous studies supporting at least 5 positive psychological impacts of giving time and resources through volunteerism. For one, volunteering literally will make you happy. Dopamine, which is released in your brain through volunteerism, it causes a feel-good sensation. The more we give, whether through time, money, or other outlets, the happier we will feel. According to the National Center for Biotechnology in the U.S., as well as the Biomed Central, or BMC, volunteering should be promoted by public health, education, and policy practitioners due to the aid to a healthy lifestyle volunteerism produces. This is because volunteerism keeps you physically and mentally active. A study from Johns Hopkins University in 2009 revealed the increase in brain function in volunteers. This led even to better physical health. Volunteering has also been found to reduce stress and depression. Most of the time when you volunteer, you stay connected socially with others. This can be used to create a support system around you. A calming effect may also result from having increased empathy due to helping others. Volunteerism can also boost your self-confidence and give you a sense of purpose. A journal from the Psychosomatic Medicine concluded that the more sense of purpose you have, the lower your chance of dying from any given cause before you're at an old age. The last point I would like to share is that volunteerism boosts your social skills. This connects largely to my third point, but in a different manner. Duke University conducted a study in 1998 that concluded civil engagement boosts social skills. Meeting like-minded people and growing close with them helps you to feel confident interacting with others. I point all these out to you in order to make a claim for your support. Young people these days have been subject to a rise in depression, a lack of social skills, and more stress than ever before. This is backed by the American Psychological Association, who concluded from several studies that children today report more anxiety than psychiatric patients in the mid-1900s. And anxiety is a predisposition to depression. It's really a wonder that we haven't imposed mandatory community service for students yet. It would counter the poor mental states of students across the board. Of course, you may wonder if a mandatory 10 community service hours per year is fair to impose on, say, a student at a prestigious high school or a medical school student. After all, they have way more on their plate than someone the same age who has completely different circumstances. As we know, students are reported to have worsened mental states because of stress, and a deadline and requirement for service hours could just add enough stress to stress someone out unhealthily. It seems unfair to further overwhelm the students with AP classes or honors courses, the students with jobs or internships, sports or religious obligations, when some students have more time on their hands than they know what to do with. Some would propose more or less service hours required based off of how involved a student is, but the most frequent opposing argument is just to oppose mandating any hours. It could be difficult to control and oversee. Allow me to dissect this opposition. While it is a valid argument with lots of truth behind it, consider how the ones who balance the most between school, work, and beyond may be the most positively affected. As I stated, the psychological impact of volunteerism is tremendous. It releases endorphins in your brain and helps you stay connected and helps you remember to take it slower every once in a while and appreciate the little things. The amount of service hours I'm proposing, only 10 a year, is extremely doable. Yes, some students are swamped by their workload as it is, but if they could set aside 1 hour every 3 weeks a semester to serve the community, the benefits for their mental health would far outweigh what may have been sacrificed. At the same time, students who aren't active or involved at all will be motivated by this requirement to go out and serve, which would create good, memorable experiences they would not have made otherwise. And hopefully this would encourage them to try out other activities and learn to balance that workload while gaining a sense of community. Many students serve already, so they would be able to use, say, National Honor Society or Key Club hours to double dip from, making it even more doable. It's also a great resume builder in today's ever-competitive society. Service opportunities can be made easily accessible as well. Most schools would be glad to offer free tutoring to students in the library after school, or students who can help teachers make copies, organize supplies, and the list really goes on indefinitely. Students would have more motivation to see what needs need to be addressed in their community and create projects that they are eager to be a part of. Overall, a very positive school community would be assisted by this proposition I'm giving you. UNICEF's Rights for Children is an organization which provides a framework for teaching kids school values, among which are resilience, tolerance, and respect. It is a well-established organization I've even gotten to support through my own volunteerism at school. Let's follow their lead in promoting school values by mandating school service. Volunteerism brings you closer to others, giving teens and adults a pathway to tolerance and respect for one another. It teaches determination to make a change and get a job done. It teaches resilience against obstacles. So I ask you today, will you be a voice of this change? If you are willing to do so, please email, write to, or meet up with school principals, sit in and speak at PTA or school board meetings, and just share with others who may be indifferent or opposing to this change, and share the psychological benefits, the manageability, and the overall positive impact of so many students getting involved. It could change the future of our posterity, as innovation, self-esteem, and a respect for all of our neighbors rises. Be a voice of change by pushing for mandatory service. Thank you.